The NASCAR Winston Cup Series is back right here on JRTV for the 5th race of the 2003 season. We head to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, newly reconfigured in the middle of last season. This is the Bass Pro Shops MBNA 400, the first 400-mile race on this layout of the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and we'll see which driver can try and claim victory in this race this season. I'm joined alongside in the booth by Trey Bardo, and Trey, it's great to be back at Atlanta, one of the fastest racetracks on the schedule. We're going to be seeing some exciting racing like we saw in the championship race last season, where we saw, the pack kind of spread out, but it really formed its own little packs where we saw a lot of battling throughout the field. Even if it wasn't just everyone on top of each other, there were kind of these one-on-one battles that we saw, so it might be interesting to see what plays out in this now race that's 100 miles shorter than the one we saw at the end of last season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what these guys could do, what they've learned, and what they're gonna try different here today. And I got a good feeling about this race.
I think Hendrick Motorsports has a good feeling too, because the last time we were here, they won the race with Jay Randall in the 48 car. Now, 3 of their cars start inside the top 20, top 15, with Keegan Thompson, Trey, needing a very good run today. He's down 34th in points. After today's race, we base the top 35 and owners points off of this season's points. So Keegan Thompson, if he has another bad race here today, Trey, he could fall outside that top 35 and have to race his way in to the 6th race of the season at Las Vegas.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they overcome that.
I'll also watch for Jay Randall back in 5th place. Winner here in the fall, in the finale race, the Napa 500, where he won with Hendrick Motorsports. And now he starts 5th here today. He won last race at Rockingham. Trey, is that just momentum on top of momentum for Jay Randall? Not only are you the last winner at this racetrack, but you're the last winner in the series as well.
And also the newest guy on the team, right? So I mean, what isn't going against him right now? But yeah, it's definitely got to be momentum going towards him. I know it's going to make him feel more confident, and I think we'll see him wield that car a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for?
Confidently?
Yeah, I guess yeah, confidently will work.
Well, some people that might want to be confident going into this race are the Winston Noble 5 drivers, but unfortunately, Trey, they weren't too confident in qualifying, because Eli Bright, as far as the eye can see, is the only Winston Noble 5 driver starting inside the top half of the field. Bright starts in 2nd here today. DEI looks strong in practice. All their cars ran well in practice, along with their affiliate car for the number 81 Fitz Bradshaw Racing Chevrolet. In qualifying, the 8 and the 15 did well. The 81 and the 1 are kind of further back, but Eli, the one that can win the $1 million if he wins this race here today. He has drivers along with him like Chris Jericho that can try and get it done. So can Keyshawn Richardson, Sebastian Kukulon, and Justin Atkins. But Trey, it's Bright and then all the rest of them in the second half of the field to start. So Eli definitely has the best chance, but we've seen in Atlanta, he can get through the field well here, and maybe one of those drivers can try and come up and challenge Eli and challenge for the race victory and get that first $1 million prize of the season.
Yeah, you definitely know Eli is pretty excited to see himself having what is that? Almost a 20-car buffer? I mean, roughly around there. He's definitely feeling good right now, but that means nothing. I mean, once this green flag drops, anything can happen.
Yes, and we'll see by the end of the race if someone maybe is challenging up at the front, but maybe not for the win. A top 5 will get you into the next Winston Noble 5 race. So watch for the drivers who finish inside the top 5. They'll be locked in to the next Winston Noble 5 race. And Trey, I have to mention this. In every Winston Noble 5 race we had last season, Chris Jericho finished inside the top 5. He's been in every Winston Noble 5 race besides the first one. The only reason he wasn't in the first one was because it went back to the previous season and the top 5 finishing results at North Wilkesboro from that season. So last season, every Winston Noble 5 race, that 18 showed up with top 5 speed.
He hasn't won it yet, has he?
He won it at North Wilkesboro last season.
Oh, well, so he's trying to go for 2 now. He'll be the first one to go for 2, isn't he?
Yep, he and Stout are the only 2 that have ever won it. Stout won it at Lowe's last season. Jericho then won it at North Wilkesboro later in the season. So they're the only 2 Winston Noble 5 winners. We'll see if maybe Jericho can get a second here today at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll take a look at some of the track facts here for the Hampton, Georgia racetrack. It's 1.54 miles in length. It's also a beautiful day for racing. While it is a little bit windy out, 9 miles an hour of wind, one of the probably the heaviest wind we've had this season, very solid temperatures here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for what's going to be a 52-lap race, just over 80 miles in length. And watch for the fuel window. This is going to be interesting. They can go about 10 laps past the midpoint, so about 34 to 37 laps. That is how far they can go. So it'll be interesting to see, do the drivers and crews want to take it out all the way to the end of that fuel window, or do they want to try and short pit to get the tires sooner, because the tires do wear a lot here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So we'll have to watch for that. Heavy bank corners, 24 degrees of banking in the turns, and only 5 degrees on the straightaways, but they can definitely carry some massive speed through the corners with how high the banks are. And as mentioned, this is only the second race on the new configuration of the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and Jay Randall claimed the first ever Frederick Motorsports right here last season in the finale race. We'll see who joins him, or maybe he stays as the only winner on the new configuration of the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's go down track so I get the command to fire the engines up for the Bass Pro Shops MBNA 400 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines!
.42 cars fire up, and they're rolling off here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway to battle in the Bass Pro Shops MBNA 400 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back in 7th place, Trey, one of the more pleasantly surprising drivers of the season is this number 33 of Sarah Kirchner. She's the new head at RCR. She's the new team at RCR, yet she's performed the best. She's inside the top 3 in points right now. She's raced well all season long. Trey, this 33, starting well here today, could be one to watch, especially with RCR success like you had at Atlanta.
Yeah, I can. I definitely see, the same type of style that I had in her. I mean, Joe, she is absolutely making the best of this opportunity she's given, and you got to think that's to the rest of those 3 other guys. It might be a wake-up call.
It is. Conrad Evans has not had a very good start, especially Cooper and Justin Atkins as well have kind of faltered at the start. And quickly talk about Colin Lewis in the 91 behind Kirchner. He was top 10 in practice, top 10 in qualifying, Trey. This little underdog car could possibly be one to watch here today.
It's going to be hard not to see that car on track.
Yeah, that Mountain Dew colors, it's a unique one. It's like Christmas out there. But at the front, completely black and white for Keegan Thompson at the front. Does he have milk? We're going to find out. Maybe he has some in victory lane later today. The green flag is waving for race number 5 of the 2003 season. Into turns 3 and 4, already a change for the lead. Thompson had it from the pole, couldn't keep it throughout the whole lap though. Riley Sprutu comes in second in the point standings, going to get 5 bonus points towards the championship for leading the first lap here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we're going 3 wide. Kirchner being aggressive on lap 2.
Remember how I said I could see my driving style in her? Yeah, it seems like something I might do. That might be something I'll do. Nothing wrong with a little bit of aggression at the start.
Behind her, Chris Jericho took it 3 wide. He's passed about 3 cars in that corner alone, already up inside the top 15. Colin Lewis moving through for 3rd place in the 91. Conrad Evans, Kirchner's teammate, coming with her on the bottom lane. We are 3 wide, about 3 rows deep, and already Eli Bright slipping back on the outside, and Chris Jericho moving through the field. He's just outside the top 10, and we're only 2 complete laps into it, and Fitzwater's trying to force the issue between those Hendrick teammates.
Are these guys all right? I don't think they. I don't think they like. I mean, Rockingham was looking like this, was it not?
It was a little bit, yeah. We had 2 cautions at Rockingham. We have not had that in a while at that racetrack, and here we are today, going 3 wide, multiple rows deep, and everyone's all over the place. And luckily, the front of the field already starting to thin out a little bit, but there's still 3 wide further back of the field. Eli Bright finally gets down line, but he's back around 15th space, and now needs to move his way back through the field. In front, Jay Reno, a big move to the middle of Colin Lewis and Brett Sierra and Chris Jericho. And already Chris Jericho from the mid-pack tray, he's raced his way up inside the top 10, something he couldn't do in this race last season at the Atlanta Motor Speedway when he was in contention for that championship.
Yeah, definitely. But with all this battling, Joe, it allowed these front 2 to really put a gap, or like a decent gap on everyone else here. You can see it right there, quite a few car lengths. But Right now, Joe, this 33 seems to be the faster of the two because it caught up to that 28 of Spurley too really fast.
Yes, she did. She got right to the back bumper of Riley Spurley. She might look for a pass here, but as she's looking lower, Spurley cannot hold the bottom. She has a nose to the inside. They're going to be side by side, and the longer they stay like that, Conrad Evans is licking his lips, trying to get there and join the battle for the top spot. They're still side by side to turns 1 and 2. It's RCR on the bottom. Robert Yates racing on the top. They stay side by side through turns 1 and 2. Kircher at the bottom trying to prevail. And, you know, something I think about last season in the finale race here at Atlanta, she drove a Chip Ganassi racing car to a pretty good, solid top 10 day. So maybe it's just this racetrack that 33 driver really likes, as she's going to get out front and lead her first lap right here on lap number 6.
Well, we mentioned how her you know, performance lately has been a possible wake up call for everyone else, and it seems like Evans is it's taking that to heart right now as he's raced his way up to third, and his 28's not over yet.
No, Riley Spurley got right back in line and now pulls right to the back of that number 33, Sarah Kirchner. Might actually look lower through turns 3 and 4. Evans goes wide behind them. Brett Seaver, Chris Jericho have closed in along with Justin Zeidel and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. It's a bunch of cars up here at the front. And for fourth place, the two rivals in the championship from 2001 go at it again just like they were in Riverside. Jericho on the bottom of Brett Seaver. And here comes Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Big run. And up front for the lead. 28-33 go at it again down the back straightaway.
You know, I'm looking at those three Hendrick cars, right? The 25, the 20, and the 48. We're missing one, aren't we?
Yeah, that number 5 who started on pole, Keegan Thompson, has already slipped
Where
all
did
the
he
way
go?
back. That number 5 is outside the top 20, back in 27th place. As up front, the battle for the lead gets even more interesting as Evans closes right in on these two that are side by side. But already, Keegan Thompson from pole position down to 25th place. He didn't even get to lead that first lap. It's not the start to the race he was looking for here today.
You've got to think that there's got to be something wrong with that car to go on pole down to 27th, and it was probably like 5 laps he went down that far. But Joe, someone who's going the exact opposite way is this 18 of Jericho.
Yeah, the Joe Gibbs cars did not qualify well yesterday. Wells was back in, I think, one of the lowest spots, like 45th place on speed, and 42 cars made the race. So that just shows how badly he was in qualifying. Chris Jericho was mid-pack in the 20s, but now Jericho's up to second place just 10 laps into it, and Matt Wells further back has moved his way inside the top 20, very nearly inside the top 15. So those cars moving through, and so is Keyshawn Richardson. Richardson failed inspection after qualifying, started dead last, 42nd shotgun the field. He's up to 16th.
Yeah, it's impressive who has really good short run cars, but if we go long run, we'll see who else can do it. Like this 41 is making a surprise entry up here.
How about Jason Albert? I think he's only made one race this season before this one. And here he is now for Chip Ganassi Racing, moving that car inside the top 10, getting by the number 24 Zeidel, looking on Conrad Evans in the 31. So Albert really needs a good result because he's down about last in the point standings, and trying to get up near that top 35 to try and race his way up there if he can start qualifying for some of the races. And that 41 looks pretty sporty. We mentioned, you know, Kirchner did well here last season in a Chip Ganassi Racing car. Maybe it's the same setup that they brought last season to Kirchner's car. Now they have it on Albert's car, and it's working just the same.
It definitely is doing nice. It holds the line well. It might be able to. I think I've seen it dive to the bottom halfway through one of the corners as well. So it seems like so far it's feeling great as the lead just continues to spread out there.
Yeah, that 28, the 18 there, definitely two of the fastest cars. They are gone from Fitzwater and Kirchner and the rest behind. Here we go, 3 wide back here. Zeidel still fading back on the outside. In the middle, it's Roberto Crown Jr. Down to the bottom. How about Nathan Ormond racing his way up inside the top 15 for Bill Davis Racing? So once again, some of these smaller teams moving their way through the field. It's been a common trend this season. While they're maybe not contending for the victories, they're contending up inside the top 10, top 15. It's great to see the progress they've made on those smaller teams throughout the offseason.
Definitely, and Joe, look who's in third. He's had a up and down start to the season so far.
Yeah, it was probably just going to be an up start to the season with that victory at the California Speedway until he failed inspection after the race. Then it dropped him way down in points and really kind of just putting an asterisk next to that victory, next to all of his stats so far this season. But maybe he can turn around with another victory here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway as Chris Jericho is dogging on Riley Spurley for the race lead. I think it's only a matter of time before that 18 gets through and leads a lap for 5 bonus points.
Yeah, I can't tell if Jericho's having trouble passing the 28 or if he's just kind of, you know, biding his time at the moment. Let's see. I don't think he can get close enough to make a pass.
Yeah, it's very, very hard, especially with the high corner speeds here at Atlanta, to break through that air bubble and get your way to the inside. He has a good run there going into turn 1. Can't complete the pass, though, down to the bottom lane. Quick up there in our pole sitter, Keegan Thompson, back up to 19th place. So maybe that car just did not fire off well in the low tire pressure, as here we go for the lead. Jericho looking on Spurley Tube, but the run stalled out as he pulled out, and the 28 keeps the lead over the 18, but Jericho still hanging right there. And once again, looking lower, the 28 couldn't hold that white line, but the 18 couldn't really hold it either, and they stay 1-2 with now Fitzwater. His hands full of Sarah Kirchner back behind the 33, flying back up onto the top 3.
Oh, that was did you see that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like, I didn't know if Fitzy maybe tapped the brakes, or if I don't think the 33 really threw it in there, because it's kind of hard to throw it in there at a track like this.
Yeah, I think the 2 just maybe got tighter. Something had to let off more than the 33 was expecting, and Kirchner luckily was on top of it and didn't run into Zachary Fitzwater Sr. But now as we get further into this run, that's where the tires start to wear out, and it's going to be harder to complete these passes unless you get a really good run. The guy in front, you saw right there with Kirchner, looked like she had a small run, but just couldn't make it work at the bottom of the racetrack, and the 2 hold station in 3rd position. Nathan Ormond is up inside the top 10 now, actually going for 9th place on Conrad Evans back there, as Jason Albert has moved his way up to 7th place, stalking down Lathan Strickland for 6th place. That's 2 of the smaller cars, smaller teams that are up inside the top 10. Roberto Crown Jr. and Colin Lewis are staying in tough inside the top 15. Mathis Wells from the back of the grid up to 17th, and Keyshawn Richardson from last place is up inside the top 10 to 10th. He goes by Conrad Evans in the 31. What a drive for this 99, and after these pit stops happen, maybe he could be one to watch out for if the pack stays this close.
Yeah, it seems like the last couple of races has really come down to any sort of pit strategy, right? 2 races ago, guys were short on fuel. We had a surprise winner, and then another surprise winner following inspections from that race. And then just last race itself, you and me weren't sure that these guys had enough, but they were able to stretch it to just enough fuel.
And now the question is going to be more about tires, I think, here today. We know that they can go, 35, 36 laps on a tank of fuel here, so they can make it from here if the caution were to come out, or if they were to pit now. The question is, when do the crew chiefs want to bring their drivers to pit road? The tires have worn off so much. The speeds are falling here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's becoming harder to make passes. When do you dare bring your driver into the pit lane for fresh rubber? Do you do it around the midway point? Do you just wait out the field run? It's going to be fun to watch what these crews come up with in terms of strategy, as we still have the top 6 within a second of the race lead. So if someone does dare undercut, they could easily get to the lead. Lathan Strickland in 6th place. He's 9/10 back. If he pits a lap sooner than the guys in front, he gets to the race lead.
Yeah, it'll be, I think everyone loves to see a little undercut especially work. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen it work, Joe. I mean, there's been plenty of occasions, but the thing about the undercut is that, I mean, clearly you guys, they'll have the Warner tires, even if it's by a lap or 2. You never know at a track like this, it could mean everything.
Especially if, you undercut, then maybe get a late caution, and then you're on the worst tires for the restart, as Fitzwater and Kirchner got close into turns 3 and 4. The 2 is really starting to fade off, I think, and the 33 is trying to make it work, and then the 2's kind of shoving the 33 down, trying to make sure she can't get the run, and they almost came together into turn 3 right there.
That would have been something, huh? Teammate versus teammate here.
They've been battling all race long, Brett Sear and Lathan Strickland. They cannot get away from each other. They stay side by side. Now Strickland got the run off the bottom lane. Should be able to complete this pass by the time they get through 3 and 4. And that brings Albert and Luke Rainey right into this battle. The 41 got a little wide right there. The 25 luckily gave him room. And now it's Albert versus Sierra for 6th place.
I thought we were going to see a 3-wide forced action there from Luke Rainey, but he decided better of it, and it was probably the smarter option.
How about this number 23? Still gaining spots, going for 8th place on Luke Rainey, and then you have Albert and Sierra right up the road. Bow for 3rd back on. Kirchner might get it this time. She pulls alongside, even in ahead of Fitzwater into turns 3 and 4. The 2 yields, and Kirchner's finally back up to 3rd place.
That's a 33 might be the one to watch here if we go green this entire race after these pit stops. If she can get a good stop here,
for the
actually,
2.
Where did that come from?
He ran the top of 3 and 4. And got a little bit of a run from it.
Well, that's something you want to pay attention to later in this race, especially if you're in close racing like this. We'll see if anyone else adopts that move.
Well, now Fitzwater is back to the inside. Kirchner pulls even with the 33 as they race off into turns 3 and 4. Strickland goes wide in the 48 car. Maybe he's trying to get that run off the quarter like he saw with Fitzwater the lap prior. But look at this. As these two keep battling, it just brought all these cars right into it, and it's left the front two to run away from the rest of the competition.
Yeah, and those front two have been in the same position for pretty much the majority of this race. Actually, the 28's slowly starting to pull away from this 18. But, I mean, if these guys keep, battling like this, when those front two come in the pit, they're not going to have much to worry about.
No, they can just kind of get onto pit road easy, get off pit road easy, not risk speeding and not risk something wrong with the pit stop. Luke Rennie and Sarah Kirchner get close right there. There's a 33 really starting to fade back now. Maybe that battle with the 2, she wore her stuff out trying to get by Fitzwater, and that's why the 2 got the run back. And now look at all these cars going by. She might fall to 7th, maybe even further back. That 33 is backing up on the outside. She might want to think about undercutting here, trying to get that tire sooner.
Yeah, we should be. We should be coming up soon on pit stops, right?
They still. Oh, look out!
Oh my
Strickland
goodness!
was not clear, and luckily his spotter maybe told him at the last second, because that could have been a very big crash. But they can still go, Trey. Nearly 10 laps on fuel.
That's some of these guys, their tires are going to be screaming for a replacement here by the time we get to the end of that thing with the way these guys are racing.
I think they're already screaming for tires over the radios. They're saying, come on, bring me down. I know we can make it from here. We really need them now.
I'll be curious to see what they look like after these guys get done with pit road, because the way they're setting into these corners still, we've had how many close calls without any contact, so it's they're definitely making it worth their wear, is what I should say.
Robert Yates Racing has shown up with speed here today at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Riley Spurgeon's led the most laps so far in this race. His teammate Luke Rennie started a little bit further back from the 28, but is quickly moving up. That number 88 now up to 4th place and could be in contention if things go awry for those top 2 spots. Fitzwater's back to 5th, Sierra's up to 3rd place, but the 18's starting to fade off the 28. Riley Spurgeon's car is just supreme out at the front of the field.
Yes. How about the beginning of this season for Riley Spurgeon too, huh?
Yeah, he and Evan Hunter both, they've been the dominant drivers this season. They're 1-2 in points, and as it stands right now, Riley Spurgeon could be the new points leader, as Evan Hunter's not having the best of days in the 36 car, currently down in 21st, right around where he started. He and Tim Gary both have not been able to make up much ground throughout this race. You see Gary and Hunter as they come into frame on the right side of the screen. This was a big battle going on as Albert's starting to fade back, and Matthew Burnett's trying to move up for Roush Racing, and Nathan Orman and Justin Zaydell are still right there. This is a battle for around 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, bringing Mathis Wells and some others into it as well. Kircher's trying to get spots back. She moves low on Lathan Strickland for 6th place. The front 5 stay clear in single file, but the battle for 3rd is tightening up. Luke Rennie's right on Brett Sierra, looking for the pass for 3rd place, and he's looking low on the 25 as the race down the back straightaway.
Almost the same type of situation as we had with, Jericho and Spurley-Tube earlier in this race, where it looked like Luke had a run, but it just kind of died out as soon as you jumped out from behind that car. So these drivers are, they're definitely taking mental notes of that, and they'll see if they can figure out some sort of fix for that. But Joe, this 99 is still slowly making his way through this field.
Yeah, watch this guy, Keyshawn Richardson, from 42nd place, going for 7th place right there in the 48 of Lathan Strickland. Luke Rennie, I think, should have this pass made right here on the 25 of Brett Sierra. That moves his way up to 3rd place. The front 2, though, they're still the same. Riley Spurgeon leading. Chris Jericho on the 18th. Sarah's going to keep 4th place off Zachary Fitzwater Sr. with 20 laps to go. Right before we get to pit stops here in this race, let's get to our Gatorade audience analysis. As last week we had asked, how do you feel about the current penalty for failing post-race technical inspection? Most agreed with you, Trey, where they said it's just right as it is, as 66% said that. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I don't know how you could go either way, because I feel like, the penalty is just right. It makes people not want to, risk getting caught. But at the same time, I mean, if you're in it just for the trophy, then I guess go for it.
I guess so. But this week it's another feeling question. How do you feel about the reconfiguration of the Atlanta Motor Speedway? Is it great? Are you indifferent? Is it terrible? Or is it too early to tell yet?
I think it's too early to tell. You know what, Joe? I wouldn't be against. What if we do like a super speedway type reconfiguration here?
I don't know about that, Trey. But we have cars on pit road. Riley Spurgeon from the lead came down. Jericho stayed out. He got 5 bonus points. Spurgeon brought his teammate Luke Rennie with him. Brett Sierra's in. Fitzwater, Lathan Strickland, Keegan Thompson, Anthony Nez, and Eli Bright, along with a host of others behind them, are in for the undercut. Jay Brando.
Do you think a lot of these guys were like, if the leader comes in, we're coming in too?
Yeah,
That's like almost half the field.
The 09, the 40 are in, the 54 as well. Here comes Jericho coming the next lap. Can't give up time on those fresh tires. Jason Albert, though, he's down in the points. He needs this lap led, so they're going to keep him out there and hope and pray. And who knows, maybe this could help him at the end of the race.
I mean, what does he have to lose, right?
Nothing.
I think he's the only one to stay out.
Well, he and the 7 and the 81.
Oh, okay, there we go.
They're the only 3.
Now, I'll be curious to see where the 28 comes out compared to Jericho, as well as, I mean, really anyone else that undercut there.
Oh!
Oh, no!
We had a crash. I don't know if there was a yellow flag, though. There was not. We're still
not.
under the green. So we'll have to pull up on the replay if we can get an angle.
Who would it be, though? I don't see any cars with damage.
Well, here come these 3 into pit road as there goes Riley Spurley Tube in the 28 up to speed, and we'll have to see if we can get a glimpse of what happened there. Is probably
seems
trying
like
to enter pit road.
The controls tower is at peak form today, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you know, people already know my opinion on that, but yep. But anyways, we'll see how.
Or it didn't warrant a yellow. I don't know.
Who was we'll have to see if we can find anyone who's fallen off, because that seemed like they were going straight to the outside wall there.
Well, you know who's fallen off is Chris Jericho.
Oh no! Oh, the 31 didn't have a hood.
Conrad Evans is damaged.
Where is Jericho?
Jericho might be out. He's a lap down.
Oh no!
From second place.
That's not good at all.
No, so I could not tell you if something happened to the 18, but we know Conrad Evans was involved in it. But Evans
they
wasn't
weren't really
near
near
Jericho.
each other, though. Yeah.
There's
I don't see
the
any
18.
damage. I wonder if they're just having issues on the car.
Oh, that is.
He might have stalled it, Joe. He might have.
I
don't
don't.
think he hit
Would it take
kill
that
switch or
long, Trey,
anything.
to fix a stall? He's already 3 laps down.
Well, I mean, there's been a couple of times where I might have hit the kill switch. I didn't know about it, but for it being that long, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I have no clue what could have happened, but going $4 million, and now it's out the window for that number 18. And now it leaves Robert Yates Racing first and second, with Riley Spurtube in the lead, Luke Rennie in second, but not for long, because here comes Brett Sierra trying to get his second win of the season and trying to pass that number 88 and move a Hendrick Motorsports car up inside the top 2.
So remember when we said the top 2, only thing they had to worry about was themselves getting on pit road?
Yep, and the 18 had to worry about something.
Look how big of a gap that 28 has now.
And also remember, he was the first car in, right? Normally the leader might want to stay out a little bit longer and not be the first in, but he was the first car to hit pit road, so he got the tires the soonest of anyone, while, you know, the 18 stayed out a lap, although that didn't matter in the end result. But there were some cars that stayed out a little bit longer that lost some ground, so that's why the 20, yeah, there's major issues with the 18. He's still on pit road, so I don't think it's anything normal. I think it's some mechanical issue there.
He's not going to be a happy guy after this. We don't see Jericho get mad too often, but running second, right behind the leader coming in and having this happen, he's not going to be the happiest of guys.
Well, this man has moved up. Remember, he fell back to around 20th or 25th, 27th place. But this number 5, moving his way back up. He was one of the short pitters, undercutters, and he moved his way up to 8th place. Now Richardson right behind him in 9th, and Matthew Burnett is in 10th. How about Anthony Ness? How the undercut worked out for him. He's now up to 6th place. He was all the way back around 15th, maybe even 20th place before the pit cycle started. Eli Bright's teammates just outside the top 10. Albert, he lost ground, but didn't really lose too much down in 14th. Has fresher tires than the guys around him, too, so he should be able to pass some of those guys. Jay Randall came down early. They're finally, I think, doing something on the 18th, so maybe they fixed the issue, and he can try and get back out there. But obviously, with how late in the race this is, he's probably not going to gain anything with just 10 laps to go. Randall gained a lot. He was down around 30th place before pit stops. He did undercut, so did Jack Carter and Jordan Stout. And then you have this mess of cars back here as Mathis Wells is getting swallowed up by Tim Gary, Colin Lewis, and all these others around him. JGR stage has gone from good to bad right here.
I thought we were going to be looking at 4 wide there for a second, Joe. Did you see that 40 duck out?
Yeah, and then here comes Kukulon, who has had a very interesting season. As we have a pass for a second, Luke Green has gotten by Brett Sear, and they're closing in on Riley Spurgeon with 10 laps to go. But here we are 3 wide again to turns 1 and 2. Kukulon being aggressive. Here comes Ruiz to the bottom. Colin Lewis is in the middle with Benny Lynn. All sorts of action happening, but Joe Gibbs Racing have fallen here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Wells had moved up from the back of the grid near the top 15. Jericho moved up from mid-pack to second. Now Jericho's down last place, and Mathis Wells is back outside the top 20 in that number 20 car.
Might be one of those days that both of these drivers want to forget. The organization as a whole wants to forget too.
I mean, look, they're still going 3 wide into turns 1 and 2. It's Smedowskin this time, forcing the Laura Chung on Mathis Wells and Colin Lewis.
Yeah, that could have been bad if Wells would have chopped your guy off or your driver off, huh?
Look at this. They're still not done.
We're still looking at 4.
I think the 20 was mad at the 40 there or something. He kind of drove him up.
Yeah, it's not good. It's I don't know if that 20 is not handling or what.
Well, here's another man, Justin Atkins, who's had a slow start to this season, trying to get whatever spots he can. He's currently just outside the top 20 in that number 30 car. And back in 28th, the points leader Evan Hunter is having a dismal day, as second in points Ryan Spurgeon was led the most laps here today and is currently in control of the race. So Hunter, as it stands right now, will definitely lose the points lead to that number 28. But speaking of losing stuff, the lead might get lost because this number 28 may have had some issues with Evans, but also, before he even caught the 31, the 25 and the 88 were running him down very fast.
Oh, what a bad lap car to catch up to, huh?
I don't know if that was the lap car they'll trade, to be honest. He had lost. I mean, his gap went from 1.5 to half a second before he even caught the 31.
So maybe you think they made some sort of adjustment on the on the car.
Maybe they didn't adjust.
Oh no, that would be a. I mean, I guess if you're looking at it, be like, wow, my car was that strong at first. I don't really need to adjust to go into that. I don't know.
I would say that's it, because you didn't have anything to measure off of. If you're out front leading the whole race, how do you know how to adjust your car?
That is true, and it's not the best, but we'll see if maybe not that many laps left, which is a problem. But if this 28 can hold on to, I mean, it's still going to be a good finish for him either way, right?
For sure, unless something happens to the car. But here, the lowest he could probably finish if he stays, running is 6th place right here, as these top 6 have really gotten away from the rest of the field. Great battle for 4th place, but a great battle for the lead. Sierra won at Riverside earlier this season, looking to be the first driver to go for 2 victories this season. He moves to the inside Riley Spurgeon with 4 laps to go in the race, and this brings Luke Rennie right into it. 3 cars for the win here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
So how do you think these teammates negotiate this with one Hendrick car?
That's going to be interesting to see. Sierra has the preferred lane. Luke Rennie's going to go with them. He wants to win for himself in that number 88 car. He's not had as good of a season as Riley Spurgeon has had up to this point, so he wants to get the win for himself. 3 laps to go, and Brett Sierra leads in Atlanta, but Luke Rennie challenging for Robert Yates Racing down to the inside. He's going to grab second from his teammate and try and grab the lead from Brett Sierra.
Yeah, definitely the one in the good seat right now is that 25 through that set of corners, because these guys are still side by side with each other. They're kind of hurting each other.
I would have thought Spurgeon would have backed out through 1 and 2. He's going to back out there through 3 and 4, but definitely that straightaway did hurt them a little bit. We're coming around to 2 to go. Can Luke Rennie run the gap down to Brett Sierra? Spurgeon slots in line in 3rd. Fitzwater is gained in 4th. Hernandez is now in 5th in the number 1. Strickland in 6th. The top 6 within 9/10 of a second. But it's going to be probably between the 88 and the 25 for this victory. The battle for 5th will come down between the 1 and the 48. White flag this time by at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
It'll be interesting to see how this last lap goes. This 25 really hasn't had a lot of time out front in clean air, but it seems like it's fat.
I think they adjusted that car well. There's the white flag for Brett Sierra one final time around the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Robert Yates' teammates in 2nd and 3rd place trying to find a way to chase him down, but they might be just too far back to make a run for the win. Off turn 2 for the final time, they might battle for 2nd place. Spurgeon got the run, pulled low on Luke Rennie. Down the back straightaway, Sierra's out front in control. Fitzwater goes wide through 3 and 4 from 4th place, but it's over in Atlanta. 2 wins in the first 5 races for Hendrick Motorsports' Brett Sierra. The checker flag and the 25 wins in Atlanta. Well, Hendrick Motorsports, Trey, undefeated on the new Atlanta track through 2 races.
And Sierra, I mean, we watched him all race long. He was slowly making his way through this field. He put himself in position. Did he didn't do the undercut, did he? Did he come in with that first group?
He did, I believe.
Okay. So the undercut prevails again.
It did, and a great run, really, for all these drivers. I mean, we had 6 cars right there, Trey, within a second at the end. That was a very competitive Atlanta race. Even if it didn't really show it, Ryan Spurgeon leading a lot of the laps, there were a lot of cars that definitely had the speed to win it if they had the track position.
Yeah, 100%. And I think if we had, like, did you say if we had a couple more laps, it would have been a way more interesting race because those other three caught up to them real quick.
Oh, yes. Yes, we would have had 6 cars under a blanket for the win instead of just 2 or 3, but it was still great as it was, with Brett Sierra coming out on top here in the Bass Pro Shops MBNA 400. Second straight win for Frederick Motorsports right here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Second place goes to Luke Rainey. Definitely a needed run after his poor string of performances. He really hasn't, he was very good at the California Speedway, but then ran out of fuel. At Rockingham, he had a very solid, looked like top 10 car, but then hit the wall and fell lap down because of that. So Luke Rainey definitely needed that run to turn his season back around. His teammate Riley Sprotube in third place will end up as the points leader leaving this race at Atlanta, as Hunter did not have the best of days for that number 36 MB2 team. How about Zach Fitzwater Sr., a well-needed fourth place to turn his season back around possibly, and Anthony Hernandez gets another top 5. Second at Rockingham, 5th right here. 6th place for Lathan Strickland. All those 6 cars, they finished within 3/4 of a second of the race victor Brett Sierra. And Entry Motorsports had a very solid day. I believe all 4 of their cars placed inside the top dozen or top 15, as Sarah Kirchner ends up in 7th. Once again, very solid day for that RCR driver. Should keep her up there in points. Keegan Thompson from pole to 27th, back up to 8th place. Not too bad for the number 5 driver, and definitely what he needed to try and get himself out of that hole he's dug in the first 4 races of the season. And some Roush cars that moved up well. Matthew Burnett, Keyshawn Richardson from 42nd up to 10th place. So those Roush cars, if they maybe had a caution in the middle there to stack the field back up, they could have been contenders. Eli Brent, the number 8, gets 11th. How about Jason Albert? Very solid day in 12th place. The overcut didn't really work to his benefit, but didn't really lose much either. I think he came in around 10th place, ended up in 12th, so it was worth the shot, and he got those 5 bonus points. 24, Justin Zidell, 13th place. Nathan Ormond, a very solid day. Jay Rando, never really talked about him. He dropped back on the start to around 30th place, but moved back up to 15th at the end. Sumit Oskin, a very solid day. His car came alive in the second half. Jordan Stout had to move through the field in the number 6. Atkins moved up inside the top 20, so did Baby Ruiz in the number 7. Mathis Wells faded to 24th there. Hunter got a few spots, but only 26th for that 36th. 91 of Colin Lewis lost ground. Matt Tuck came up from 41st to 29th in that number 32. Look down here, Mitchell Collins didn't have a good day. Zachary DeLello down here for Roush Racing. Roberto Crown Jr. was up at the front, faded to 37th. How about Ryan Wilson down here in that number 15? Nolan Lawrence in the 19. Max Davis in the 21. We saw Evans with the damage, and Chris Jericho, his issues on pit road, put him 5 laps down the 18 from a shot to victory to dead last for Jericho here today. And also want to bring up that the 5 drivers going for that $1 million bonus at the next Winston Noble 5 race. Brett Sierra, Luke Rennie, Riley Spurtu, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., and the number 1 of Anthony Hernandez. So watch for those 5 drivers at the next Winston Noble 5 race. As we take a look at the points leaving Atlanta, and Trey, a change at the top for the first time this season. It's now Riley Spurtu on top over Evan Hunter with the 20. A very, very strong day in the 36. Definitely his worst day of the season.
Yeah, that pretty much the top 2 guys in points had polar opposite days, huh? One was I don't know if Hunter, what was the highest we even saw Hunter? Was it in the top 20 at all?
I don't know if he was ever inside the top 20.
I was gonna say he might have struggled. He definitely did struggle, but he might have struggled a lot more than I thought he did. And then that 28, I don't think he ever left the top 5.
No, he did not. Riley Spurtu was on his game today. Evan Hunter a little bit off, but it looked like all of MB2 was off, and maybe it's just something about this racetrack that they didn't like, but they might have to figure it out because this racetrack is the finale race. So if you're close in a points battle, you can't have a race like that at the end of the season, and maybe that's good news for Robert Yates Racing, and especially, Brett Sierra. Those cars were very, very fast there at the end. All 3 of those cars, both the Robert Yates cars and Brett Sierra, and I mean, maybe Hendrick Motorsports, they have one of their cars in contention for the championship at the end of the season with how their track record here is at this new reconfiguration, Trey. Who knows? Maybe a Hendrick car could come out on top in the championship.
Hey, never say never, Joe. Never say never.
Well, next race out, there's going to be some gambling for sure as we go racing at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the UAW Daimler Chrysler 400. So, Trey, maybe some rolling the dice there, and should be a fun race to watch. All the Las Vegas races we've had here at JRTV has been just absolutely fantastic races from start to finish.
Yeah, I'm excited, and you never know. Like you said, maybe some gambling might come into play.
Yeah, and we'll have to see who plays it right there in Las Vegas. And Trey, best of luck tomorrow as you go to Road Atlanta, testing out some new changes, I think, to the car that NASCAR wants to bring in the future. Maybe some safety upgrades to the current car and make it just a little bit safer than it is right now, right?
Yeah. They asked me if I wanted to test out some equipment. I said I think we have an extra car in the shop at our shop, and I'm all game. I don't know why they picked me. They know I don't like road racing, but you know what? That's fine. You know what? I'm always here to help NASCAR.
Yeah, so hopefully all goes well there, and hopefully the test is all positive, and we get some good changes to the cars for the future.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited for it.
Well, congratulations once again to Brett Sierra, first driver to win multiple races this season. It's his second, Riverside and now Atlanta for Brett Sierra. Road course in a 1.5 mile oval. He could be a top dog for the championship, just like Hunter and Brownsbury have been. We'll see you guys next week on JRTV for the Las Vegas race.